Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Crypto Analyst channel. My name is Brendan, and I hope all of you guys are having a great day no matter where you are from. And today we're going to be breaking down everything that's happened on cryptocurrency this week. We're going to be going over all the news, all the different support and resistance levels, including what's happening on the candle chart, because cryptocurrency is just rapidly moving and rapidly recovering, and there's so many secret things that I think people just are not seeing or simply are not being told that need to be discussed. Now, as I talked about, there's a ton of outliers out there in the market. There's still a ton of cryptocurrencies that are yet to move, and I truly do believe that. I mean, Solana's up nearly 32% this week, up nearly 30% on the month. Waves is another one. It's up nearly 200% this month and nearly 74% on the week. And then you have Zilliqa, one that's up over 300% on the month, ApeCoin that's up 1,200% on the month, and there just are tons of cryptocurrencies out there that are yet to make these moves. Now, the crypto market as a whole, I'm very, very bullish about. We've broken primary resistance. We've broken secondary resistance. There is not much left to break for cryptocurrency. We saw a decent little dip happen yesterday across the board, and that's already rapidly getting bought back up, as we can see from this daily candle right in here. We dipped all the way down from around 48,000, and I want to measure this out before we get into the news, but we dipped all the way down from 48,000 all the way back down into the 44,000, dropping over 8%, and we've already rapidly recovered from this point. As we can see towards the upside, we're already up over 5% from that least little recent dip that we just had, showing that there's a lot of buying pressure in this area. People are very comfortable buying Bitcoin in this area. And if we zoom out, like, what are the true major resistance levels that we have left, right? Because all of our downtrending resistance, for the most part, has been broken. We're now hitting higher swing highs, and that's very evident from this candle chart. We're now hitting higher swing highs from what we can see over here, and former resistance is starting to be tested as support, which is a key level over here that's happening. So we're going to dive into this in a little bit more detail in just a second, but let's talk about what's actually happening over here in the news, because this is a great example of just general sentiment and how it's switching around for cryptocurrency. Because CoinDesk was just actually talking about how, despite Bitcoin dropping to 45K, a lot of analysts are seeing price to continue moving upwards, especially heading into April. And we're going to explain just why this is the case on the candle chart as we get into that. But even with the Axie Infinity hack, the Ronin hack that just happened, the largest hack in crypto history, cryptocurrency is still rapidly recovering. And if that's not a true tell sign that the crypto markets are stronger than they have been in a very long time, I'm not sure what to tell you. I mean, we have illiquid supplies rising to all-time highs, meaning the amount of cryptocurrency, the amount of Bitcoin specifically that is actually circulating on exchanges is the lowest it has been in almost 4 years. I mean, Bitcoin is getting more rare. Cryptocurrency as a whole is rising in demand and lowering in available supply to the public. And this is just making price go absolutely nuts. I mean, not even factoring in what's happening with inflation, but there's all sorts of negative things that could have pushed cryptocurrency down in the last week. And despite all of that, it rapidly rose. Now, for any of you that know me, I'm a massive fan of play to earn, GameFi, metaverse, whatever you want to call it. And Citi actually sees the metaverse economy being as large as $13 trillion in the next 8 years. Now, to put this in perspective, it's not anywhere near 1 trillion yet. I think this is one of the most slept on spaces in cryptocurrency. There are so many different cryptos, play to earn cryptos and GameFi and metaverse cryptos that I own. There's, I mean, literally too much to list. Maybe I'll make like a list or like an Excel document of all the different ones that I'm excited about. But there truly are so many out there that are just being slept on. I think that this truly is an undervalued industry, and there's a lot of potential to be made here. And we have major, and I mean major, financial institutions like Citibank and JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs making all these ridiculous price predictions and then talking about how they're getting involved in the metaverse. And I think if you're missing the idea that big money wants to get in and wants to be a major player of this over the next decade, then you truly are going to miss out. Because if major money, major institutions want to put money into these things and are just now starting to do that, or just now starting to think about doing that, that's a sign that this is going to be a trend, and this is going to be an ecosystem that's going to stick around for a while. It's going to have some scalability and longevity to it if major institutions see the value in the long-term plays of it. Now, this one coming out, this really should be to no one's surprise, but the SEC rejected Bitcoin's spot ETF application from ARK. They have rejected what feels like to be hundreds of these at this point. This happens all the time, hence why it did not push price down. I think it's already factored in from the amount of rejections that other applications have seen. So, at the end of the day, while something like this would be really, really nice, it's not necessarily needed. It would be convenient for a lot of people, but it's just not needed, especially when we can invest in the assets ourselves. But also, I believe Grayscale was just talking about actually suing the SEC if they didn't get theirs approved. They're saying, hey, it's been enough time. There's no reason why this stuff can't get approved. It is time for us to get ours approved, and we are thinking about potentially even suing the SEC if that does not happen. And I was just reading about that one yesterday. But when we're talking about what's actually happening over here on the price chart, cryptocurrency has rallied. Again, I've talked about this. Above primary resistance, above secondary resistance. We talked about one of the last major resistance levels for Bitcoin being this former support, turn resistance, and now guess what? We broke back above this, and it's starting to look like it's turning into support again. I think that if cryptocurrency, or Bitcoin specifically in this case, can use the 50-day moving average, the 20-day moving average, and this former top now turned into a potential current bottom, it looks really good for crypto. I think the only bearish argument that you can even make at this area is that maybe this is a rising channel where we have 1, 2, and 3 different touch points of resistance, and then 1 and then 2 touch points of support. But even then, I think that is a lofty play to say that we now have higher swing highs, a W formation at the bottom, strong buying pressure, strong fundamentals, broken above all of our moving averages, RSIs look good, MACDs look good. But there's this one bearish indicator, and that is going to be the death of crypto, right? I think it's really hard to argue that at this point. And I'm sitting at about an 80% bullish mark on Bitcoin. I think that if we break above this previous high that we just hit of like 48,500, I'll be at 100% bullish. I'll be fully convinced that we're in a market reversal. And if we do break this level, the next level I'm looking at is up towards like 52,000. So there definitely is support below us and resistance above us still, but I think it's becoming increasingly harder to be a bear at this point. And, I always mention this, but this is something that we talked about in the Crypt Nation group. If you guys want to join Crypt Nation, there's a link to that in the description down below. But I give all of my technical analysis for Bitcoin and a lot of different altcoins in significantly more detail on Crypt Nation. And you also have direct access to me in there as well. So if that's something that sounds interesting to you, definitely check that out in the link down below. But to the downside over here, I'd be looking at, okay, if we are going to dip lower, which I think it's unlikely. If we are going to dip lower, we have supported around 52,500 right at our 200 EMA. And then we also have support at our 50 EMA and our 20-day moving average and previous tops that are now bottoms. Then we also have uptrending support, which is all the way down at like 36.5, maybe 37,000. But there's plenty of support below us as well. And so when I'm looking at the cryptocurrency market as a whole over here, our moving averages are pointing back upwards. It looks like we want to form a golden cross from the death cross that we had just a couple of months ago. And if that happens, I really am convinced that we're going to be seeing prices that are going to be near our previous all-time highs. And for the total too, that is simply just the representation of the entirety of the altcoin market cap. This guy is broken out of even larger resistance. We're talking like 6-month-long resistance levels that have just been shattered over here. And this 14-month-long support line is still holding. And every time we've hit this level, the market has hit all-time highs afterwards, right? We started it over here, went to an all-time high, came back to it, hit all-time highs. Now we're coming back to this level again at about a 53% drop, which is exactly what we saw when we topped out over here. We dropped 53% and then rallied to a new all-time high. And that's exactly what I think we're seeing over here with crypto as well, or with altcoins. I think it's, again, I can't say this enough, but I think the idea of this general bad sentiment around Bitcoin and the altcoins right now is hard to make. And all of our moving averages are starting to, guess what? point upwards again. So across the board for cryptocurrency, I truly am bullish. I think that as soon as this resistance breaks, there's going to be very, very few bears left in the market. There's always going to be those perma bears, but for the most part, cryptocurrency as a whole is truly looking strong, and the fundamentals are just insane. These are cryptos, or I don't even want to say this is cryptos. This is a spot where I am very comfortable buying cryptocurrency, and nothing I give here is financial, legal, or tax advice in any kind of way. But for me personally, I am excited to buy cryptocurrencies at these levels. I mean, Bitcoin's still below 50,000, and it's still, if we want to measure this, I think people are still like, I don't want to buy in now because cryptocurrency is rallying, and I don't want to buy the top. And you have to understand that Bitcoin's still down nearly 33%. The entirety of the altcoin market cap, and oh, that was the wrong tool. The entirety of the altcoin market cap is still down almost 29%. I mean, it's down nearly $50 billion still, or 500 billion. My math's bad, but you guys get the point. We're still down a lot from all-time highs, and this is again just somewhere where I still see a lot of value in cryptocurrency, and this is a spot where I'm excited to invest at. Now, am I going to be right at the end of the day? You know, who knows? You know, it's crypto. Anything can happen over here. This is a 24/7 decentralized market, but if you're not excited about what you're seeing in both the news and the chart, then I think you're missing out on something. But that's going to wrap us up for this video, everyone. I hope you did enjoy. If you guys have any questions, make sure to leave those in the description down below or the comment section down below. I'm happy to answer those and interact with any and all of you down there. And we have content like this coming out every single week, around 2 to 3 times a week on Mondays and Fridays especially. So if you do like the content, consider sticking around, and we have plenty more coming out in the very, very soon future. But once again, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.